You know, I want to take a moment real quick and of silence. You know what I mean? And let's just remember that the 500,000 that have lost their lives during COVID. Right, that's like a 9/11 and a half. I mean, if you want to take it on a scale, right, that's how you can measure that. It's one 9/11 and a half, right? And so then we can also, I would like to also memorialize those that have lost their lives in an opioid crisis, which is still going on. It's not forgotten, right? Those are the kinds of people that I like to think of, and everything else, right? Because they're often called scum of the earth, right? But where's the empathy on them, right? And I'd also like to have lift up Tiger Woods, who was in a crash right now, and seems to be doing had to have the jaws of life come and get him and save him out, and he's in surgery. So let's just be humble ourselves, think about other people for a second, and let's just be silent for a second. Okay, let's do that. See, it's not that hard, right? Just think about other people for a minute. But see, where I come from, it kind of is, right? Sharing is not really that caring. It's kind of, people see that as, oh, we can come up and get that, right? I mean, hopes and dreams was never something that we ever had, right? It was just dope fiends and schemes, right? That's all it really is. And so that's kind of why you see kind of a lot of people skeptical to get this vaccination, skeptical of the government, especially because when they say, oh, 2 weeks to the curve, right, just locked down for 2 weeks, even though they probably even in their minds knew the whole freaking time it would be about a year, right? But they can't trust us because they think that we're too stupid. They think you're too stupid, that I'm too stupid, or all of us are too stupid, that if and everything else, that, and we can't be trusted with those kinds of information, right? To make daily things about our own lives, right? We can't be trusted with that, which is sad because we entrust them with all kinds of powers and I mean, just that their decisions would impact our communities and the world and everything else, and we see what they do with it, right? Not much. Right, just why the world is kind of in disarray, chaos and disarray everywhere, right? We see that. You know what I mean? But Limbaugh, it was Bill O'Reilly, even Sean Hannity, folks like that. You know that when I was growing up, right? Because we used to watch Jon Stewart, and me and my niece, right? I have a niece that's 13 months younger than me, and another one that's 3 months younger than me. So we grew up as like brother and sister because my siblings circle is kind of weird. I have an older sister that's 17 years older than me, so she had kids at a young age, and that's how that came to be, right? So, right, the birds and the bees, folks, right? But anyway, so, and we were like, what the hell, this guy's kind of a lefty. But we started realizing that we didn't think like that, and we found Rush, and then we found all these other people, right? But my grandma would always send me these books, these self-help books, and it was always like Bill O'Reilly, like for lost and troubled, misguided youth, boys, and stuff like that, which had a lot of interaction stuff and made you look introspectively and, accountability and all this kind of stuff, which I learned and grasped these values. And my grandma would kind of tell me, but growing up with the crackhead parents, which my dad met my mom at a bar, and they were, he was the drug customer, she was the drug dealer and the sex dealer as well, and I was the oops baby. Then that's how I came to be. And then we moved, from hotel to hotel at a young age, and then finally these apartments that had their own task force and everything else, and then they disappeared because he got schizophrenic, and then paranoid schizophrenic, right? And then my mom met my stepdad through a prison pen pal system, and then it was just abuse, chaos, and disarray the whole time, moving around, getting beat up, right, going in and out of prison, right? So I relate to. I wonder, a lot of people also relate to that, right? And so I just want you to know you're not alone in that, right? And there is a chance to overcome all that. You can overcome that. You don't have to feed into that and be just like that beast. You could be better than all that, right? You can change. You can, right? You can break that whole cycle, and I believe in you. That's why I tell you, I don't think that my light shines bright by dimming others down. I think my light shines bright when everybody shines bright, right? Like, we all know the North Star in the sky shines the brightest, right? And that could be like America, with a beacon of hope, right? But yet, all of us, the citizens, are the other little stars, running the planet, right? We gotta know our little role in the universe, right? And so That's what I'm talking about, right? But and then you go on and you think that your teachers and everything else are coming up and they're teaching and you're going to learn all these little values to be a productive member of society. But often these people have their own problems and everything else, and they kind of take it out on you. We saw that with the last Zoom call that was on this, right? With the teachers union had to all resign, right? When they're talking shit about everybody and the parents and mocking everybody, right? It is what it is, what it is, though, right? But that's like the apathy and not the empathy, right? We always talk and profess all this stuff, but where's the action, right? The doing of the word, not just hearing of the word, right? And that's where, like, my grandma would try to give me all these self-help books, never really much like, oh, I'm gonna do everything for you, right? But that way, right, teach me how to fish. That way I was always relying on having to get it to fish, right? That's as the saying goes. And so I think that always kind of helped me. I didn't like it at the moment. I always thought it was kind of messed up, you know what I mean? And unfair, but I'm thankful now because I had the courage and all the other stuff when I was going through all the other hard stuff in my life, how to get out of that and everything else. You know, that was great, and I'm thankful for all of that. You know what I mean? I am who I am because of that, and I think that that's why struggle is important in life. But I also think that undue and unnecessary hardship by the government, which they're doing right now to us by lying, giving us misinformation, and then saying that their flip-flop is worse than our flip-flops, right? That's not cool, like with the Fauci stuff like that. I think that if they would have just said, hey, check, that's why I like Trump, because Trump would have just said, hey, check it out, we need to lock down for a year, but that's why he was trying to say we need to just stay open like Florida and not like New York, which is seeing higher death rates than Florida, and we got Southern California with like 50% herd immunity in that Southern California range, right? So if they can do it, we can all do it, right? We just need to open up. This is the year, right? Parents need to be more involved instead of just letting them sit in front of the computer screen, which is just as bad as the TV screen, which we were kids was told, which is going to blank you go blind, right? Well, it's the same kind of thing. They need to be in school, right? We're doing undue harm on purpose. It's child abuse, and it's not great. We need to stop that, but we also need to be aware of this. It's great that we can profess all this stuff and yell and be Karens or whatever, right? But we need to be more empathetic, and that means understand, walk the mile in everybody's shoes, understanding that we're all winging this. We're all understanding that we're all trying to make do in this time that we've all never done before. No one's, you know what I mean? No one's ever done this kind of stuff. So we need to understand that about each other before we make any kind of judgments on each other, right? That's why forgiveness is important. But we can't be forgiving people like Andrew Cuomo, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, or McConnell, because these are the people that we entrusted with the power to be doing all these actions, but instead they're going after Trump, they're going after all this kind of stuff for their own gain instead of actually serving us in the time that we actually need it the most, which actually says a lot more about their integrity and character, doesn't it? I mean, in my opinion, I would think so, right? So, you know, the Democrats, they say that they have the culture. They say that we have everything, right? They have the media, they have the Hollywood, right? The music industry, right? Everywhere they brag about it, right? Well, look around. I mean, we have needles everywhere. We have crap everywhere. And no one's happy. It's debauchery. Is fluorescent. I mean, right? That's what it is, right? So if that's the culture, right? We have kids dying, not in school, and this is all proud of it, right? They're all proud of that. That's not cool, man, right? And that's why we need to have more of a standard of value and structure and live up to that. That's why we're a country of laws and rules and regulations, not because we're tyrannical or fascist or anything, but because through those things we have the freedom in order to keep it, right? So there has to be some kind of a structure, foundation in order for your house, right? Otherwise it will just crumble down, right? All up on you like a house card, right? That's how that works. So that's why we stress that. And it's not that we on the right don't care about this kind of stuff. We do want people that are hurting COVID right now to have aid and everything else, right? But we don't think that these teacher unions should be keeping your children hostage like this, right? So they got your kids like, oh, much bang. But they got your kids like this, and they got a gun to them. And like, we want the money, we want the money, we want the money. Give us the money now, right? And that's the teachers. This is your kids, and you're allowing them to do that politically because they're saying Orange Man's bad, right? And how cool is that? That's not right, right? They're using our children like prop like Carrot Top, and we gotta stop allowing that. right? You can't let the politics of all this kind of stuff that should be just tearing people down and thinking that that's winning an argument or being virtuous or anything, because it's not. We need to be better, talk better, be dressed better, act better, and we can all do that because we all know what's wrong. We don't feel good inside when we do that. At least I don't, right? I know a lot of people don't, right? And so we know what's bad, we know what's wrong, we know what not to do. So if we could just do the opposites of those things, that would make everything a little bit better, right? Because it would be not doing the same thing over and over, not getting the same result, right? Which is the definition of what? Insanity, right? And that's just my opinion, right? But like, apathy or empathy, right? So we have the COVID $1.9 trillion, right, coming out, right? But $400 per week for unemployment insurance supplement, right? Okay, that's cool. We can all agree that people need that kind of help to pay their bills. 1,400 direct payments, not the 2,000 that Joe Biden and John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock all promised. If you let us all do all the kind of stuff, well, all they will be going out day one, right? Well, it's what, almost 2 months now into Biden's administration. Still hasn't gone out yet, but they're going after Trump. They're going after everybody else, right? Still doing the January 6th riot hearings and everything else, right? Not caring about the American people or anything else, right? Instead, they're blaming Texas and hoping they learned a lesson through all this kind of stuff, instead of actually helping people. 3,600 per child a year, okay? 20 billion to COVID vaccination program. Only 20 billion out of that 1.9 trillion. 170 billion to help K through 12 schools and higher education colleges and stuff like that, whether they open or not. So whether your kids are sitting there or not, these schools are still going to be getting that money. Okay, we have 350 billion in support for state, local, and tribal governments. It's a bailout because of governments for like Gavin Newsom, and Andrew Cuomo in New York and other states like that that are not doing so well, New Jersey and stuff like that. So they need to replenish all that kind of stuff right there, and prop it up, almost like Russia props up their government and their stuff with their oligarchs. It's the same kind of type thing. But let me tell you, right? So the teachers union. So you think all them 170 billion is going to be going there? No, right? So let me just give you some prime examples here. An Indianapolis woman is just going to prison for 16 months because she stole over $100,000, embezzled that, right? You can just go and search teachers union embezzlement and for days and days and days and days, scroll and see stuff, right? And I'll give you a couple examples here. A teacher in Maine, February 24th, 2011, tells you this is not a new thing. She stole $25,536.1, and then February 24th, 2011, and then August 27th, 2010, she stole the same amount of money, $25,536.91. She's an exact woman. Okay, Evergreen Public Schools, $70,000. Auburn Schools, $800,000 was embezzled, and even in Mexico City, a woman stole $200 million, which is like $100 million or so pound or American, right? She got 35 years in prison. And Greenfield High School teacher, 158 felony counts of embezzlement. Like that, this is what's going on, right? So that's why you have all this kind of stuff like that. They don't care about anything else. This is a wealth heist and a power heist, and that's why we need to start thinking like that and being more aware of that and taking back action. Fight like hell for your children. Fight like hell for your community. Fight like hell for your own life, so we can start seeing and having that normalcy. Otherwise, Fauci's like, hey, if there's a COVID over there on Mars, which is probably why they got the rover out there, right? And the perseverance, right, out there looking for COVID, so we can still be locked down. Because they're enjoying it. They think it's fun, right? So that we don't. So we need to start showing them how we're adults and everything, lawfully, legally, non-violently. Start taking back control of our lives and our communities. We can do this, folks. I believe in you. I love you. That's why I love y'all. I'm telling you. Okay. I mean, if we can all do this, everything that we all think can be together, right? But like I said, we can't stop all this Trump derangement hate because he's actually a good guy. He's not that bad compared to Pelosi and all this stuff. I mean, look, don't you miss him yet with this Biden stuff? Because I sure as hell do, and I think a lot of people do. That's why he's going to be the presumptive nominee for 2024, right? I mean, what's wrong with that, right? We need to actually start thinking like that, right? Not be such a xenophobic, right? It's my opinion, no? What do you think? You know what I mean? Yeah? Love you guys.